Good afternoon, financial professionals. My name is Jennifer Nadeau, Case Design Specialist here at E4 Insurance Services, welcoming you to The Brew, building relationships every week. Thanks for tuning in today. For those of you joining The Brew for the first time, we like to start the BREWcast by celebrating today's National Day. And today is National Logistics Day. It's also National Insurance Awareness Day, and what day isn't? And last but not least, it's National Paul Bunyan Day. So this morning when I saw that it was National Paul Bunyan Day, I had said to one of my kids that Paul Bunyan was one of my most favorite film strips in grammar school. And what I thought was going to be a little discussion about Paul Bunyan ended up being a 10-minute topic discussion of what exactly a film strip is and how it was used in class. So I was brought back to some awareness this morning by my kids. But with that being said, on today's Brew, we welcome E4's managing partners, both Dan and Brendon. We're going to be doing today's BREWcast roundtable today, and Dan and Brendon will discuss current events at E4 and take any questions that you may have. So as a reminder, please feel free to use the chat box to share your thoughts or ask your questions. And also, all attendees are in a drawing for a prize, as we are every week, and we will be announcing the winner at the end. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Brendon and Dan, welcome to your BREWcast today.
Thank you, Jennifer.
And
Thank you, Jennifer, from the home of Paul Bunyan and Blue up here in northern Minnesota. We have some of the life-size, the largest Paul Bunyans up here. So you might have to bring the kids out sometime and show them.
There you go. I'll have to take some pictures and show them. Yeah, for sure. Let's jump right into it because I know you've got a lot of great thoughts to share. So we'll kick it off to both of you. Can you just tell us your opinion on how you feel the overall industry is doing right now?
Well, I think you've got a mixed bag. You've got the variable side of the business with significant losses of account values in variable products, which can put some stress on the industry. Overall, though, the rising 10-year treasury and the overall general account, I think the carriers are breathing some sighs of relief there because they've at least stopped the bleeding of their reinvestment rates for their portfolio, which I think is going to help. We do have some headwinds with COVID-related deaths. We've got that, but all things that we're hearing industry-wise are that we meet with our carriers is that they're still feeling that mortality is within pricing. So from that standpoint, we're I think in a good place. Brendon?
I mean, I think it's, and I've said this before, I think it's a great industry. I'm excited about this industry, and from that standpoint, very bullish and favorable. Big concern, and I would echo your mixed bag, but I look at, the advisor's average age and people coming into this industry. And to me, that's the biggest, concern. I think there's great opportunity. Our product pricing and everything else is more competitive than ever. It's just, we don't have enough people out there to tell the story and protect families. And I'm not exactly certain how to change that myself, but otherwise we're here to help.
Absolutely. Dan, I think you made a brief comment about this, but we've been seeing rising interest rates recently. To the both of you, what impact do you see that having in the industry specific to both life and annuity?
Well, we're already seeing it in the MIGA rates coming up. We've seen some increases in index products, but the volatility is very high right now. So offsetting rising interest rates is the market volatility and the price of options. So index trailing that a little bit more, but you're seeing 4% yields now, over 4% in fixed annuities available, both all the way, I think, down to 3 years now. 2 to 3 years with those types of rates. So that's a big change from where we have been, and that would be the impact. I think the carriers, again, are just, for the first time, their reinvestment, if they have between a 7 or a 14-year, depending on the carrier's investment philosophy, they have a reinvestment rate. If they have a 7-year maturity, average maturity for their bond portfolio, 1/7 of that is coming due every year to be reinvested. So they're finally reinvesting at rates higher than that are going to help their portfolio. So that's good, because most of the corporate bonds are based off the 10-year Treasury, and they're getting a premium on that depending on credit quality.
Yeah. So what Dan is saying is the life side is a portfolio product, so it lags the interest rate increases, and in time that will rise and help, but it'll take a little time. The annuities, which are typically new money, products, have been quick to rise. And I remember when I started in this business, let me date myself, 20 some years ago, and we had 5-year annuities at 5%, which was sort of a magic number. They might have been even a little higher than that at some point, but we haven't been close to that in a decade. And, if interest rates keep rising, which I think they're going to, we might see that again, which is just really a magic number. And a lot of clients feel good with over 1% a year. So,
yeah, there's a lot of 4% guaranteed life insurance business on the books that carriers have had to meet that guaranteed interest rate. So, as I said, it's a welcome relief for them to see some yields that can support some of the products they've sold in the past as well.
Absolutely. I do see a question in the chat box that I'm going to ask now because it relates to what we were just talking about. And the question is, does it make sense to hold off on buying a fixed annuity today because rates may be higher next week? Thoughts on that?
Typically, I would say no. And you can do the math and figure out how high rates need to be. But if you're sitting on the sideline for, 6 months to a year, you're going to have, I'm going off the cuff, a 3 or 4% increase for the rest of that duration to make up that difference. And, for a lot of people, that doesn't make sense. On the flip side, rates could go down. And not only did you not lock in that rate, but now you've missed, that opportunity. So, I can say waiting a month maybe, or if the Fed's, has a meeting and they're going to have a rate change, maybe wait in a couple of weeks in that scenario, but sit on the sidelines to hope that we're going to have, 10% yields probably isn't going to happen.
Best, yeah.
Yeah.
Next question is legislative events, Are there any legislative events that financial advisors need to be aware of?
Well, the Secure Act 2.0 has made its way through the Senate, so it's now, it was already passed by the House, but the Senate version is now has been passed. So they're bringing those two together for reconciliation. That will increase the required minimum distribution age. It'll have some good positive impacts for clients and allowing them to push taxation out further for RMDs. So you'll see some good changes along that front with the Secure Act, assuming the president will sign that, because it did pass with very strong bipartisan support, both in the House and in the Senate.
And Jennifer, we've seen a lot of interest just with the elimination of the stretch IRA with the first go around on the Secure Act, and having to receive all your money within 10 years, doing an IRA maximization strategy while the client is alive, and assuming that they don't need all of that RMD or all of their IRA to live on, using life insurance to transfer that to the next generation is now more than ever a great strategy, since we don't have the stretch IRA.
Right.
Dan, you had mentioned COVID within the first question, but let's talk a little bit about underwriting. We've been through 2.5 years now of COVID-related claims. to both of you, of course, have you seen any change or impact on how our insurance carrier partners are underwriting cases?
Well, there's Milliman & Robertson is providing services now to a lot of our carriers with billing codes from in medical records, the billing codes that insurance companies utilize to pay for your health insurance reimbursements, and so that is making its way into the life insurance. It's much more difficult to fudge your health history if they see codes that don't match up with someone who says, yeah, I'm perfectly healthy, and yet they see a lot of various billing codes out there for various services. So you'll see that it's getting tougher to game the system in that sense and anti-select against carriers. Where I think carriers are more and more pushing towards the instant issue. We're seeing other carriers have entered in that space. There's things we like about that from an ease of doing business and the speed of business. For example, Symetra's Swift Term. We're seeing about 35% of our cases are instantly approved, another 35 that are approved within 24 hours after a light human touch, maybe a quick question from an underwriter, and the last third going through normal underwriting. So that's a real improvement to know that, you know, about 70% of our applications on that product line are approved within 24 hours. That's a huge difference from where we were even with other drop ticket e-app type of business, you know. So that process, I think carriers are going to continue to push. There's the Bestows and the other carriers out there that are also trying for that instant issue. I would say as an advisor, be aware, no conversion privileges. As Brendon likes to say, you know, conversion privileges are like airbags in your car. You don't think about them every day, but when you have an accident, they're pretty important to have. So keep that in mind as you look at what your clients are going to have available.
Yeah, I guess last point I'd say on that is, so with the older ages, there are still some COVID underwriting restrictions. You know, those ages 70 plus, they may not, you know, go past a table 4 or 6 where, you know, we used to be able to have, you know, table 8 to 12, depending on the carrier. I was joshing around with one of our RVPs the other day and sort of tongue in cheek said, you know, why do you still have these restrictions? COVID's over. And he said, well, no, it's not. And I said, well, everybody, you know, is acting and thinks like it is. So why don't the underwriters follow suit? And, you know, he brought up the point that, you know, 1, not entirely over, but 2, we don't know the long-term ramifications. Because I made a comment about, you know, flu killing a lot of people. And he's like, well, we've had flu for a long time. We know the long-term effects of flu. We don't know the long-term effects on mortality, you know, with COVID. So with those older ages, there's still some restrictions. So as I always say, let's ensure your insurability while you can and get coverage, you know, while you can. So at those younger ages, you know, a lot of people put off estate planning depending on where tax law is going to be or when they think they'll decide they need it. Well, we may not have those options down the road. So let's take care of it while we can.
100%.
And Jennifer, the other thing I would mention too is there's a lot of mortality that has taken place for COVID, the pandemic, people delaying their health care, you know, surgeries or health decisions that way. The fentanyl crisis that is really, it's lowering our life expectancy in this country because of the youth that are the younger people that are being taken and losing their lives from some of those. The anxiety and the increase in suicide rates from being locked down that we're seeing, that's also having an impact. So underwriting is tightening up in certain areas when they see anxiety, and anxiety medications can be a challenge. And then you know, the substance abuse that came from a lot of the things came from you know, the pandemic and lockdowns and isolation. So
yeah, sobering truths indeed. We are at June 29th, so we're at the end of quarter two. What would you like to share with advisors on how E4 Insurance Services is doing?
Well, our team continues to grow. Bringing in more team members to help support and recruit, attract, and develop business with financial advisors. Successfully, we've had a tremendous year. While our app count is up in the single digits as far as number of applications processed, our life premium is up 37, target life is up 37% year over last. Our linked benefit business is up really strong, 62% over last. And our annuities, we're up over 28% year over last. So all fronts, our main three lines of business are significantly increased over last year, which thank you for everyone on this call who writes their business through E4 Insurance Services and protection and protecting your clients with better and helping craft better financial outcomes. That's a big part of what we're doing. So exciting to see the growth rate that we have and the direction that we're heading.
The only point I would add is, we put out some lofty goals this year, and we are on path to hit them. If you advisors on the call aren't making goals and sharing them with people, you should do that because it helps keep you honest and motivate, and it is a good practice. So,
excellent. Dan and Brendon, 2 years of not being able to host an in-person event. E4 is just coming off of hosting the BBT, Building Business Together, earlier in this month. Can you share any thoughts that you may have or would like to share about the event?
Well, it was Back to the Future theme. We actually had a DeLorean there with a fun event. I got to play Doc Brown, and Brendon was Marty. But we had a great venue. It was great to be with advisors again, and share and learn and grow and develop. We had awesome speakers who really, I think, brought a great content. So we have 3 signature events, Jennifer, that we try to do each year. Our Building Business Together, which everybody is invited to, and we have the date next year for May 4th. So there will be a May the 4th Be With You theme, a little Star Wars theme next year, but May 4th next year is our Building Business Together. So mark that date down. We also have our Inner Circle, which will be coming up in December 4th of this year in Las Vegas. That's invite only for our top advisors. Our top 10 advisors are invited in some of our regionals, and it's a study group format over a 2-day period. So be working towards that. We're seeing some really, it's weighted production. So life, annuity, linked benefits all count towards that, but that's a great event as well. And then we do a sales retreat for our staff. So, everybody involved in our sales, and I know, Jennifer, you're coming out to Minnesota to participate in that for the first, but we also spend time educating our team. And so our sales retreat is coming up in a few weeks, and we'll be sharpening the saw of how we bring value and knowledge to our advisors and their clients. We've spent a lot of time with our staff investing in their growth. We participated in an operations forum with our carriers on the operations, contracting, marketing, new business processing, all of that. Our VP of New Business and Josh Meester were down at the Underwriting forum. So we have spent a lot of time in growing our staff's knowledge and ability, and that's, I think, a key part of bringing better value to the advisors we work with.
And I would just implore you to block off the date of May the 4th. As we bring a lot of different ideas from different aspects of the business. so that we can help, educate and train the advisors that work with us, open up opportunities. And, the feedback we got was, that it was great. So we will continue to do that. I also was surprised as a much taller and balder Marty McFly. I did not really fit. I mean, I sat in the DeLorean, but it is a tiny, tiny car. So yeah, think about that if you want to buy a used car.
Good advice. Before we open it up for questions, I just do want to ask one more of the both of you. Are there any special projects that are in the works at E4 Insurance Services that you'd like to share with the group today?
Well, special projects, we're continuing to work on our website. I know from our marketing perspective, a refresh of that will be happening. A commission accounting system is halfway done. We're going online with that, so that will automate some statements and commission accounting, and we're live with portions of that. So that's a ongoing project. Continuing with value-added pieces and marketing materials for advisors to help them position products. Really a focus on not what the product is, but what the product does. And we really drive that with our team. So, Brendon?
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to add with that, but, we are here to, support you, come beside you, point of sale, whatever you need, we are here to help drive more life insurance, annuities, and linked benefits into your clients.
I would say too, we've been a leader in using lifetime income withdrawal benefits, annuities in non-qualified deferred comp, almost creating a non-qualified pension plan for key employees, key executives, and we've now placed our first lifetime income withdrawal benefit inside of a qualified plan. So we're working to expand that market as well. We call that secure for life, and creating guaranteed income. One of the things the Secure Act did was it allows annuities with lifetime income to be part of a 401k offering, a 401k plan. So if you're in that market, please reach out to us. We have some great ideas to share, and we're growing that line of business as well.
Great. Thank you both. Let's open it up for final questions. As a reminder, you can use the chat box, but while we're waiting to see if there's any final questions, I'd like to remind you that today's brew and our full library are recorded and shared on the Brew blog on our website at www.e4.insurance. And also, let's do our giveaway. So Dan, can you please pick a number between 1 and 27?
I will pick 21.
Lucky number 21. Jana Lutz is today's winner. So Jana, congratulations. You will be receiving a complimentary CE voucher and a Starbucks gift card from us. It'll be coming your way. So keep a lookout for that, and congratulations. So I will pause. If anyone would like to unmute themselves and ask a question, that's certainly more than fine too. And I'll also peruse the chat box quickly to see if there are any questions.
Jennifer, I'll have you share something. I know that every week we share on our sales calls and our company meeting. We all share a win for the week, and your win last week was you have a better understanding of our long-term care analysis tool.
Yes.
Because as you joined our company not too long ago.
Yes.
So you want to share what that tool is, maybe just real quickly?
Yeah, absolutely. And it is a great comparison tool. So I have background, of course, in life and LTC, but E4 has put together a great LTC comparison tool that really shows the differences and contrasts and compares the differences between self-funding life insurance with LTC or chronic illness rider, a standalone LTC plan, and also hybrid type solutions that are also available. It's in a great customized presentation that we can put together for you, and it definitely helps in those point of sale situations where you're really looking to show and explain some complex stuff to people that don't do this day in and day out. So I'm a big proponent now of the LTC analysis tool, and certainly ask us for that. We'd love to help you out and show that to you in your different conversations with your customers.
And you can help advisors have a win for their week when they place a nice long-term care solution. So
absolutely, that's good, Dan. Yes, we can help you have a win as well. Lots of great tools that E4 has. I am not seeing any other questions. So thank you everyone for joining. Next week is the 4th of July. So we are taking the week off from the Brew, but we will be back on July 13th with Jason Jafferis, I hope I'm saying that correctly, from Prudential. So watch your email for that invitation. We'll see you again on July 13th. Everyone have a great long holiday weekend. Thank you for joining us today, and we will see you next time on The Brew. Thanks, everyone.
Happy 4th.